Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, guess what, y'all? The NFL season is officially here. Golf claps, everybody. Golf claps, everybody. Shut up, phone. Golf claps. There you go. It has been a tumultuous. Let me
He's
see.
already started off with the golf claps. I thought we were so past the golf clap.
Mike, let me have my moment, man. God, you know what? No, we got a guest here now. We not finna act up like this. Not yet, anyway. We got a whole hour to do that.
I was about to say, like, huh? Uh-huh.
At
Huh?
least at least let me get the
Not,
intro out
not
the way first before we
oh,
act up.
okay, okay.
Okay, there you go. So if y'all don't know, this is the Heavy Hitters Live. I am your host, 6MK Live, on the ones and twos. To my stage left, we have Mad Mike Sports, aka the Senator, all
You
the
know
way
what?
to
Can I say something real quick? Let me say something real quick. I got to interrupt you. I want to call you Jeff Hardy so bad, but I can't. But I just had to say that before we get started. I just had to say that.
faces before.
Hey, I'm
Hey,
gonna call him the cat.
Oh,
I'm gonna call him the charismatic Stiller.
the charismatic Stiller. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
the
yeah, yeah. Oh yeah.
charismatic Steelers.
Yes.
We can't do that. The charismatic Steelers. I
Oh
mean,
Is
my
that what they
god.
call Jeff
there's a
Hardy?
lot of cocaine.
He's called the
There's a
charismatic
lot of
Atlanta.
cocaine involved with the Steelers. So I mean, it's a lot of cocaine. I guess it makes sense. A lot of cocaine and
We
Steelers land.
already start. We already starting with
All right,
this,
let's go to
man.
this. We got to go to Jew, bro.
All right, man. Like you said, man, we got the minister down there. We got the calm before the storm, Mr. Jew Talk Sports in the building. There you go. Ah.
There we go.
Right below us, we have the Don, the icon,
Hey man,
the
y'all
Summer
already
Hill
know.
Nightmare.
Y'all already know, man. My whole clique gorgeous. Say my name before it, man.
Right on, right on,
You
right
know
on.
what? You know what?
And we come on now, come on. We ain't even hold on. And we got a special guest for y'all this evening as we already kicking it off heavy hitter style. We got Mr. Jeff Hartman.
What's up,
Um,
guys?
Go ahead, introduce yourself to the people, man.
Yeah, sure. So name's Jeff Hartman. Cover the Pittsburgh Steelers for the Steel Curtain Network, which is a part of the Fans First Sports Network, which I am the network director of that sports network, and so I control all of those feeds and help everyone grow and do all that fun stuff. And I've been covering the Pittsburgh Steelers now for closing in on a decade at multiple outlets. We have a really, really large podcast platform. I do my solo shows, we do team shows and things like that. So that's at the Steel Curtain Network, wherever you get your podcasts. And like I said, our website is steelcurtainnetwork.com. So I appreciate y'all having me.
Okay,
Appreciate
definitely.
you coming
So,
on, man.
and like I said, we're definitely going to be linking the channel as well for the people so they can go ahead and subscribe to you. That Steel Curtain Network, y'all. Like I said, you're going to continuously see that throughout the show. So if you haven't subscribed to that, y'all make sure y'all go ahead and do that. Because if you want, like I said, if you are NFL fans and not just Falcon fans, you want to go ahead and get takes from other teams because this is what being a football fan is. Just letting y'all know. Just give you a little heads up on it. So, let's go ahead and get right into it, man. Hold on. Before we do that, man, we got to shout out the people that's in here already, man. We got King Treyway, Robert Ponder, Lee 85. We got King Quest, Jared Bowie, Eric Mack, John St. Clair. We got B Nard, Mucho Grundy, Dre Woods, Ted Sports and Gaming, JB, Dre Murphy, MVM 1978, Trauma Locks, and Brian Peoples. So we're gonna get some more people in here. So let's go ahead and get right into it, man. I gotta ask everybody that's in here a question right now. Are you ready for some football?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm ready for some football.
Hold on. Let me say it one more time. Are you ready for some football?
Yeah.
All right, man. As y'all already know, man, it is week one, and it is the Atlanta Falcons versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, normally, We would come in here with the 3 keys and stuff like that. So we not gonna worry about that. You're gonna catch the 3 keys on everybody's individual channels. We just gonna have a discussion on the game. And since Jeff is here, he is our guest of honor. We're gonna let him give us his takes on what the Pittsburgh Steelers have been so far this offseason and what does he expect out of this game. So Jeff, man, the floor is yours.
Well, it's been a tumultuous offseason for the Pittsburgh Steelers in a lot of ways. Continuity always remains strong with the Steelers when you talk about Mike Tomlin getting a 3-year contract extension, so he's going to be in town for the next 3 years. You talk about Cam Hayward yesterday getting his contract extension, so he's going to be a one-helmet guy, as he calls himself, as he'll probably retire as a member of the Steelers. But, man, this roster has also seen some really serious overturns, especially at a position like quarterback, where last season when they finished the season, it was the starting quarterback in the playoff game where they lost in the wild card round to the Buffalo Bills was Mason Rudolph. Kenny Pickett was the backup, and Mitch Trubisky was the third-string quarterback. All 3 of those players are gone now. And so they've replaced them with Russell Wilson, Justin Fields, and Kyle Allen. I don't know what people will debate, whether it's a huge improvement or a huge upgrade. That's been a talking point since March with the Pittsburgh Steelers fan base. But ultimately, I don't think the play could get worse, and so it can only be an upgrade. Russell Wilson is an established veteran. Justin Fields, that young quarterback who's brimming with potential, has a ridiculous ceiling but also a ridiculous floor. Can look unbelievable at times and absolutely mind-numbingly horrible at others. So they go to Russell Wilson in week 1. I wasn't shocked with the decision, but really this team is also a team that has had 2 really good draft classes in back-to-back years, and they're starting to infuse the roster with that young talent. Talking about players like Joey Porter Jr., second-round draft pick. Broderick Jones played in Georgia. He's a tackle. You talk about Keanu Benton out of Wisconsin, second-round draft pick. Nick Herbig is a third pass rusher out of Wisconsin. You talk about this past year's draft class with Troy Fautanu, who's expected to be a starting tackle at some point in the near future once he heals from his knee injury. You're also asking players like, NC State, Peyton Wilson to come in and be a sub-package specialist at inside linebacker. I could go on, but you see where I'm going, that this young team is infused with, and Zach Frazier, starting center, can't forget him, second-round draft pick this past year. They've undergone a lot of changes on this roster. And so I think a lot of Steelers, especially after the preseason, the fan base is wondering, what are we going to get? Like, what is this going to look like? And I didn't even mention Arthur Smith, you all know him well, as the offensive coordinator. What is that going to look like in Pittsburgh? Is it going to be Atlanta Falcons 2.0, or is it going to be something completely different with Najee Harris, Jalen Warren, this new offensive look, new weapons, different weapons, not that they're better or worse than where he was last year? We don't know. We have no idea. So that's really where we are at this point in the game.
Okay.
I got a question. I got one right off the bat.
Sure.
So I like the controversy. I like to start stuff. I like to start a little mess. So I'm gonna get this out of the way. I'm gonna get this out of the way right now. What was your honest opinion when you guys traded for Justin Fields?
My honest opinion, they got him for basically nothing. So it was not like they're having to pay him some ridiculous contract. It's the same with Russell Wilson. Was I thrilled with Russell Wilson? No. Am I thrilled with Justin Fields? Not really. But you know what? They're going to total combined almost just $5 million towards this cap, and they have no contractual restraints to them after the season. So it's a stab in the dark. And so no, fans don't want to have a stab in the dark at quarterback. But Justin Fields, yeah, he's brimming with potential. He's also he's not consistent. So for me, I honestly didn't move the needle too much for me based on the fact that they're not having to pay these guys a ridiculous amount of money. They gave up a conditional 6th-round pick for Justin Fields. It's not like they're mortgaging their future to get him. I thought it was worth the risk.
Okay. All right, Jew man. What do you think about this matchup? What do you think about this matchup, man? How do you feel about Pittsburgh Steelers as a whole?
You guys know I kind of talked about this on my Tuesday live show for What's the Word, Dirty Bird, and pretty much, we know what the Steelers represent. The Steelers, outside of the Atlanta Falcons, if it were any team in the league that I would kind of be a fan of, would be Pittsburgh, because you guys know I'm huge when it comes to the trenches. And Pittsburgh plays football the way that I feel like it should be played. Running the ball, stopping the run. Those are the two things. If I were a coach, a head coach, a GM, and I'm starting a football team, to me, the Pittsburgh Steelers are the blueprint, for playing winning football. As I mentioned, we know, I believe they have 6 Super Bowl championships, if I'm not mistaken. So they're one of those franchises that they're just a blue collar team. And personally, that's what I love about Pittsburgh. I think they've had 3 head coaches over the last 30, 40 years. So they're one of those teams that, I really feel like this game, if you want me to just talk about the game, I really feel like it's going to be one of those black and blue type games where I talked about Pittsburgh is going to come in this game and try to make it a bar fight. They're going to try to dominate the trenches. We know Arthur Smith and what he represents as far as running the football. And we know that Mike Tomlin is always going to have a top tier defense. So their job in this game is to keep the game as close as possible. When I looked at the statistics, they only averaged, I believe, about 17 points a game last year. And that was due to the poor quarterback play on Pittsburgh's side. But we know what TJ Watt represents as far as he's probably the best pass rusher in the NFL as far as we want to say edge rusher, defensive end, whatever you want to call him, outside linebacker. TJ Watt is the cream of the crop. And then Alex Highsmith is a guy that's been coming on the last 2 years as one of those guys as his protege. So I really feel like Pittsburgh is just on the defensive side of the ball. Everything starts and ends with that defense. They're going to do their best to come in and try to control the trenches on both sides of, the ball. Now, where I think that they're going to have some problems with this Falcons team, at least this season, is that we know that the Steelers are usually good on along their offensive line. And you heard Jeff talk about it. They're kind of playing musical chairs because they have injuries in Isaac Seumalo, their guard, and then they have a rookie center. So we know how that goes when you're trying to get acclimated to the NFL. Guys are a lot stronger. These are grown men with mortgages. And, it's not easy game one going up against Grady Jarrett and David Onyemata. Those are 2 guys that you don't want to have to deal with, especially your first game in the NFL. I'm just being real. So, I think they're going to struggle. Just looking at their preseason games, their quarterback Russell Wilson, he was under a lot of pressure during those preseason games, and we know with Matt Ryan when he was here, before we got solidified our offensive line with guys like Chris Lindstrom, Caleb McGarry, and we had guys prior to that where our offensive line, Matt Ryan was one of the most sacked quarterbacks. So I really feel like that's pretty much my keys for this game is the Steelers. They're going to try to control the trenches. Whoever wins the trenches in this game can run the football consistently and can protect the quarterback. I really feel like that's going to be the team that wins, and whoever wins the turnover battle. We know that the Pittsburgh, their whole game plan is win field position, win the trenches, take the ball away. And we're trying to do the same exact thing. I just think that our offense is a little bit more explosive. So we're going to see if we can, do what we come to do with Kirk Cousins, with the weapons that we have. But I love the way that Pittsburgh plays the game. We know what Mike Tomlin represents with, never having a losing season. So Pittsburgh, I definitely think that you can never sleep on them because their defense is always going to keep them in the game. You heard them talk about last year, Mason Rudolph being their quarterback. The guys that they had over there, Mitchell Trubisky. Last year they made the playoffs, if I'm not mistaken, with those guys, that musical chairs at quarterback. So that just goes to show you that if you have a solid defense, if you can run the ball, you're always going to be in football games. So I don't expect this to be a blowout because their defense always somehow, some way keep them in the game.
All right, Mike, I want to go ahead and get your take on this matchup and what are you looking for? Well, what are you expecting out of this matchup for week 1?
Well, for the most part, Pittsburgh has not been very good at stopping the run consistently. They've struggled. They have a light front for the most part, lighter front as far as the 3-4 is concerned. They, for the most part, you look at how Mike Tomlin likes to get after it. Like you look at his front, he just likes to get after the quarterback. Worry about stopping the run, playing, not to say that they can't stop the run, not to say they're not physical, but they haven't been great when it comes down to running, stopping the run. So the Atlanta Falcons, in my opinion, man, it's going to come down to them two studs in the backfield. I don't think we'll have a problem with Kirk Cousins at quarterback. Kirk is he's gonna be in his first game back, come from injury, so I don't see him coming out and just taking huge risks. I think the Atlanta Falcons are gonna lean on that big head juggernaut that we call Tyler Algier, because that dude got a head like just run. You'll see real soon. Patrick Queen, you're gonna see real soon what he can bring. And then you have John Robinson, man. Uh, he's what I call a USC, okay, USC Reggie Bush. You can stop him 15, 20 times all game. All he needs is that one play. And that's all you need with those two running backs. So the key for me, man, I think it's going to come down to the Pittsburgh Steelers stopping the run and making sure you contain those running backs behind Kirk Cousins.
Okay. All right, Jeff.
Y'all gonna skip me, bro? I ain't even saying nothing.
Well, you ain't getting it. You calm down.
Look, Don, I'm trying to set this up right now, man. Hold your horses. We're trying to set this up. Hey, look. Hey, y'all.
Let
This
the
is
man
normal here.
host. He's the host of the show. Let him control the tempo.
I thought he forgot about me.
No, I haven't forgot about you. I'm trying to use this to set you up to let you get your point across. That was it. We finna go back to Jeff. So, what is your key as far as for Pittsburgh to come out with a W in this game, man?
Well, I forget who said it, but I mean, it's going to come down to the Steelers' defense. And it's going to come down to a defense that I think is going to be a top 5 unit in the NFL at season's end. They are healthy. That's the most important thing. They're dynamic. The run stopping was an issue last year. They have made some strides there. I think, like I said, Keanu Benton, the second-year player out of Wisconsin, you can expect big things out of him this season. They did pick up Dean Lowry, a veteran, along the defensive front. They've seen some growth from players like DeMarvin Leal as he's entering his 4th year in the league. So they have worked a little bit on varying their 3-4 front, but their front 7, especially with Patrick Queen in terms of his versatility, Landon Roberts is your downhill thumper. And I still stand by the fact that I don't think there's a better pass rushing duo in the league than Alex Highsmith and TJ Watt. So what Mad Mike just said, if the Steelers can't stop the run, it's going to be a long day. But if they can enforce a 3rd and long, well, you know what TJ Watt does. And when Kirk Cousins, I don't know if he's ever been a mobile quarterback, but when you're coming off a ruptured Achilles tendon, haven't played in the preseason, you have to wonder, like, what is his mobility going to be like? And a sitting duck quarterback, those are the ones that they prey on the most. You know, Josh Allen's, Lamar Jackson's, they give the Steelers fits. Why? They can escape those pressures and they can make yards with their legs. And I'm not saying Kirk Cousins can't do that, but if the Steelers want to do anything, the defense is going to have to create turnovers. Last year, they were plus 11 in the turnover differential. I think they had 16 interceptions, 11 fumble recoveries. They're going to have to create some magic, and they're going to have to assist this offense as they get their feet underneath them and they figure it out. It's going to take time on offense. So this is going to have to be a defense. It's going to be a defensive game. Steeler fans are accustomed to this. They see it week in and week out. It's going to have to be one of those games.
Okay. All right, Don. So I'm going to let you go ahead and give your key for the Atlanta Falcons. Okay, you see how I set you up there, right? You see it now, right?
Look, I didn't know.
There you
man.
go.
I thought you
There
forgot
you
about
go.
me because, like, I know everybody had they points and stuff, and I'm like, okay, you probably forgot about me.
Nah, man. Trust me. I'm sitting here looking at all 5 screens right now, so I can't forget you.
Okay.
So I want you to go ahead and give your keys for a Falcons victory in this match.
We got to, with the Falcons, first and foremost, we have to win the turnover margin. We know one thing about the Steelers and Tomlin, he loves to get the ball. He loves his DBs to get the ball. When I looked at everything this past few days, y'all got Anthony Midget as y'all assistant secondary coach. I didn't know that. He's a bright young. He's not really young, but he's in his mid 40s. but he's a very methodical type of DB coach that has developed some good DBs. Also, he was a draft pick in for the Falcons back in I think it was the 2000 draft, I believe. But anyway, that's one key. Another key, and this is very important, we have to create 3 and outs. Or if we cannot get turnover, we have to get the Steelers off the field. Because one thing we know about Arthur Smith, he loves to control the tempo of the game. He loves to control the clock. So if we can create some 3 and outs, we should be good. Those are my only 2 keys I have, because Drew mentioned it earlier about one of them. I do have a question for Jeff. And everybody be quiet. Don't say nothing. I got this. What's your thought?
I know who you talking to. I know who you talking to.
Hey,
I haven't said anything.
What's your thoughts, Jeff, of Roman Wilson?
Well, I don't have many because he's been hurt.
Right. I'm glad I'm okay.
He hasn't been. He got hurt in the first padded practice at training camp. Roman Wilson did. So he's been out with an ankle injury. He was a limited participant in practice today, Wednesday, the first reported practice. And I don't think he's. If I had to bet money, I'm betting he's inactive in week 1. As they get him acclimated and get him ready to go. But I think that he might be a good slot answer for the Steelers in the future, just because he hasn't participated a lot, and Mike Tomlin is not keen on rookies playing a lot when they haven't participated in camp and practice. So that's where I'm leaning right now.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I wholeheartedly agree with you on that. Now, I know he's not going to suit up for this game, so that's good. I ain't got to sit there if we, somehow beat y'all. I ain't got to. Because I'm all about my Michigan players, but that's good. He ain't got to be in the mix of that.
No. Hold on, wait a minute. I want everybody to put their hands in the air that they were shot, that he didn't mention the Michigan players. If you were shot, raise your hand.
Man, y'all go ahead on
that. Nah, man, but so we're gonna pass this around. I'm gonna pass this right back to Jew. I know TJ Watt, Caleb McGarry is kind of like one of those matchups that everybody's gonna be paying attention to. Is there any other matchup on this team that you could see that could be key to flipping this game the Falcons' way? And then after that, I'm gonna let Jeff give us his matchup to see if he can flip Pittsburgh's way. So, you go ahead.
So, just to flip the Falcons' way, would you like me to go defense or offense, K?
Yeah,
or
however you want. It don't matter. It's however you want to go.
I'm gonna go with Matthew Judon because y'all know I've been doing.
Look, there you go.
I've been doing that ever since we traded for Matt Judon. So it'll be Matt Judon, man. I think right now that defensive line of the Falcons is licking their chops, just for the mere fact that Pittsburgh, just like I said, they don't have that continuity up front. And we know with our Falcons O-line, it took us a while to get our guys cemented and those guys to jail. So I really feel like in this game, the biggest issue for Pittsburgh is going to be the continuity. When you moving guys around into different positions on the offensive line, that's not a group that you want to be mixing and matching. So I'm really interested and intrigued to see how fast those guys can gel. So I really feel like Judon, Grady, those guys are licking their chops. But I really feel like Matt Judon, because if you go look at Matt Judon, just the way that he rushed the passer, he's a veteran. So he knows tricks of the trade to get by guys. So I really feel like he's going to be the biggest issue. We keep saying TJ Watt, which I think TJ Watt is the best pass rusher right now in the league as far as we talk about edge guys. But Matt Judon is not too far behind him. So I really feel like if you line up a rookie or you got somebody on the outside that's not confident, or these guys haven't played together, they don't know how to pass off games and stuff like that, that's going to be a problem. And I really feel like Matt Judon is going to flip the game because he's going to be our TJ Watt. He's going to be one of those guys who's out there hunting. And Russell Wilson doesn't have the mobility that he once had. And I really feel like that's going to be the issue. If this was Russell Wilson of Seattle, then I would say that they will be okay because Russ was one of those guys that was Houdini in the pocket, where he would always somehow, some way, pirouette, find a way to sneak out on the outside and throw the ball down the field. But if you guys watch Russell Wilson, I've been watching him over the last couple of years when he was in Denver. He doesn't have the burst that he once had. So he can't escape a lot of the sacks that he once could. And I really feel like that's going to be a problem in this game because he doesn't have that burst to escape. So I really feel like once they see that line is in disarray, that's when, guys start feeding, especially on that defensive line. And Judon's one of those guys that's licking his chops right now. When he hears, okay, we got some rookies, we got a rookie center, we got guys moving around, I really feel like he's licking his chops like, okay. And what he's going to start doing is what Pittsburgh likes to do, or what most teams like to do, is he's just going to line up over your weakest offensive lineman. So once they start seeing, okay, which guy is the weak link on that offensive line, they just going to go at that weakness the whole game. So I really feel like that's where it's going to, that's where we're going to be able to do our damage. So I really feel like Judon's going to be the guy that can flip this game in our favor.
Okay. All right, Jeff, man. What matchup are you looking forward to outside of the TJ Watt matchup?
Yeah.
What matchup you got?
I'll go on the offensive side of the ball because I talked about the defense already. And I'm going to say it's whoever you are deploying against George Pickens. Because I honestly don't see the Steelers having a lot of success running the football, especially in between the tackles. I don't see this being a big Najee Harris game. This would be a big Jaylen Warren game if he's healthy with that hamstring injury and he's able to play, because Jaylen Warren is much better on those stretch zone schemes, outside zone blocking. The Steelers want to stretch the Falcons a little bit because, like you said, the interior of that defensive front is stout. So you're not going to get a lot of push, especially with the rookie center. I don't know if they're going to have a lot of success running the ball, but we know Russell Wilson does still throw a really pretty deep ball. And there's not many receivers better at combat catches right now than George Pickens. If he's in sometimes double coverage and you just throw it anywhere in the vicinity, he's probably going to come down with it. And so if the Steelers offense is going to have any explosive plays, I see this only running through number 14 in black and gold, and that's George Pickens. So that's the matchup. I don't know what Atlanta plans on doing. Clearly, they're going to be shading safeties his way the entire game, rightfully so. How does he handle that? That's something Steelers fans are excited to see. But I think that's going to be a really big turning point in this game.
Okay. Hold on. Let me go ahead again. We got a 499 super chat from 706 Dog. He said, I think the Falcons front seven would be a surprise of the league. The way that it's shaped up, it is definitely a possibility. Like I say, we definitely appreciate that. What I will say is, the matchup that I'm looking at is, and Jeff, you ain't slick because I know you talking about George Pickens. I'm looking at Pat Fryermuth and damn Darnell Washington. Cause, as you already know, with us experiencing Arthur Smith, we know one thing, and we've seen the last couple of years: the tight ends will get involved.
Oh my God, Gil.
So this
we know that.
So you got two good tight ends there.
Yeah.
Like I said, Pat Fryermuth and Darnell. I don't know if that's how you say it, but like I said, that's about the best I can get.
That's right.
Okay. I did something right the first time this year, so J to me. But Troy Anderson, Caden Ellis, Nate Landman. I know we got Justin Simmons and Jesse Bates there, but the thing is, we're going to have to contain those tight ends, I believe, because the last time we played Pittsburgh, which was a couple years ago, it was Pat Fryermuth, who killed us the whole game. So that's what I'm looking at, and that's all I got to say on that. So, Mike, what matchup are you looking for?
See, Jeff, he gonna make me do it off the top rope move on him because he stole my key. All right, so thank you, Jeff, for that. Because that's exactly what I was thinking in regards to George Pickens. Like George Pickens, I've seen him at the University of Georgia for years. And that guy, he has the innate ability to kind of just go up and just get guys like Kyle Pitts, Calvin Johnson, like those guys, like George Pickens has that ability to just go up and just make nothing out of something. He's that talented. I think the Atlanta Falcons, for the most part, I think this is going to be a matchup versus quarterback and the safeties. If you have Russell Wilson on his game as far as him being able to kind of outthink the Falcon safeties, because those guys are elite safeties in regards to in regards to them being able to read formations, read the play, read what's going on. I don't think there's two better safeties in the game than Simmons and Bates. So I think this matchup for me, I have to say that it's Russell Wilson versus Double J. All right, Double J, Justin and Jesse. That's what I'm looking for.
I don't know why you said Simmons and Bates. I was getting a Hall and Oates vibe when you said that for some reason. I don't know why.
Oh,
I don't know.
Hey,
Hall and Oates song started playing.
Yeah, you out of touch and out of time, bro.
Whatever, man. Oh, whatever. But hold on. I forgot. I ain't got no more questions. That's for sure.
I got them.
Go ahead, Mike.
I got a matchup thing too as well. So.
Go ahead, Don. What's your matchup?
Go ahead.
Go ahead, man, Mike.
They got Southside threw me off over here talking about they also got my Cole Pruitt. I'm like,
so my matchup is, believe it or not, Cordell Patterson and our middle linebackers of Troy Anderson and Caden Ellis. I want to see how we gonna play, because I already know Arthur Smith gonna use Cordell Patterson a lot in this game.
I mean, if he truly has control over the offense, yeah, but I think Mike is gonna have something to say about that though.
But that kind of leads me. Okay, so I'm glad you said that, Don, because that kind of leads me into this question right here. Do you think Arthur Smith is going to try too much to prove a point with certain players? What do you think? What do y'all think about that?
I don't know, man. It just from my experience with, and I know Jeff gonna hate me saying this man's name, Matt Canada. Like, like Tomlin is he's in far as like top 10 coaches right now, he's in my top 5. But at the same time, he's a defensive guy. He does manage the game well. However, I think he's going to allow Arthur Smith, especially these first few weeks, he's going to let him put his stamp on the offense and play call and do everything. And we're going to be that the guinea pig, as to say, our defense is against Arthur Smith's offense in Pittsburgh. How is it going to look like? What is he going to do? Is he going to use Najee Harris? Or you going to use Cordell Patterson? You're going to utilize your tight ends. How the route running concept's going to look like for the receivers in Pittsburgh. So we're going to see all that come into fruition this Sunday. But I do feel like Cordell Patterson will get a significant amount of snaps this Sunday. I'm just saying.
All right, Jeff, looks like you got a question here from Cam01. He said, what do you think the Fields package is going to look like?
Well, I hate to disappoint people. I don't think it's going to look like much, if I'm going to be honest with you. I think that was, Mike Tomlin. I think he might have said that on the Rich Eisen show or something like that. But Raheem Morris, you might want to prepare for a Justin Fields package, because I can't for the life of me imagine, once you go to Russell Wilson, that's fine. And I understand that, because you can't flip the script the other way. If you go to the young guy after Russell Wilson, that's okay. You can't flip the script the other way, in my opinion. So I knew that's what they were going to do, and I was fine with it. To me, Justin Fields, how could you ever have a package that isn't just a giant red flag? So you can't have Justin Fields run onto the field on a 4th and 1 and then say, wonder what they're going to do. It's going to be a run option, a read option. It's going to be something simple. They're probably not going to have him put the ball in the air. And so my biggest complaint with Matt Canada, who was brought up, which gave me some PTSD, was that everything that he did from a schematic standpoint was a giant red flag. Everything from okay, here comes the extra tackle as an eligible tight end. They're going to run the ball. They never threw the ball out of those packages. It was so predictable. And so the defense would automatically know to cloud the ball, cover the box, let's jam everyone in there, and they would just run it right into the teeth of the defense. So I don't think they're going to have a Justin Fields package. If they do, I'd be stunned, and I'm not going to be a believer in it until he completes passes from it, because the moment he comes out, if he's just going to run the ball over and over again, it's going to be ineffective. So unless they're actually going to have him throw the ball, I think it's worthless. Keep Russell Wilson in there.
So based off of that question, are you more confident in Arthur Smith right now as you are Matt Canada, or like you said, is it just a wait and see? Just from the eye test right now.
Well, the one thing that Arthur Smith has that Matt Canada never had is an actual NFL resume. Matt Canada had only had experience at the college level. His most successful stint was probably when he took over in Maryland as the head coach. He was fired from LSU. I mean, he bounced around colleges all the time. He gets on as the quarterback's coach for the Steelers. He's there for a year, and then all of a sudden he's calling plays. He just wasn't prepared for the job. And so at least Arthur Smith can say that when he was in Tennessee, now granted, you look at the offense that he had with Derrick Henry, but Ryan Tannehill was a reclamation project in and of itself. He was left for dead after he failed in Miami, and he got Ryan Tannehill to perform. And Derrick Henry's a unique player. I understand that. And young A.J. Brown was a different piece as well. But I think that if anything gives me hope, it's that Arthur Smith, regardless of what happened in Atlanta, does have success as a coordinator in the NFL. And Matt Canada never could and still can't say that. So that gives me a little bit of hope.
All right, we got another question here from Dre Harris. It said, how do you feel about the media saying Arthur Smith offense is high school level?
I mean, we dealt with Matt Canada last year, man. Like, if that's his offense is high school level, Matt Canada's was like elementary school. So that's still considered an upgrade over what we had. So, and right now, I honestly, the way that the national media is treating the Steelers, after they don't execute a trade for Brandon Ayuk, and now the sky is falling and everything is horrible, it's par for the course. Like, really, the fan base is just used to the national media saying whatever they want about the Steelers, because basically they know it's going to gain some traction. The fan base is rabid. They're going to get pissed off. They're going to tweet about it. They're going to talk about it. And that's what they want. They want to drive the attention, so I get it. But we're used to it.
Okay. Fellas, any questions y'all may have for Jeff, man? Drew, Mike, Don, any questions y'all got for Jeff?
I got a quick question for you, Jeff. So who's a player on the Steelers, because you follow the Steelers, like a player that we're not expecting that might surprise us, whether it's on defense, offense, special teams, somebody that maybe is not a household name just yet, but somebody that may make a splash or maybe a difference in the game that we're not talking about?
Okay. So not a household name. I've mentioned his name a couple times. I can't say it enough. I think Keanu Benton, he's a second-year player, second-round draft pick out of Wisconsin, is going to be a stud. And he can flex from the nose tackle also to the defensive end, defensive tackle positions in the 3-4 alignment. So they're going to use him in a variety of ways. He has a wrestling background. He is going to be in the backfield early and often, especially on passing downs. So that's a player to keep your eye on the defensive side of the ball. Another player that I've really liked, a free agent acquisition that has not gotten a lot of credit, is I like Deshaun Elliott, the pickup he was with formerly the Baltimore Ravens, with the Miami Dolphins. His ability to play the line of scrimmage, play in the box, to cover some tight ends, to be used in the nickel linebacker type role is going to allow Minkah Fitzpatrick to be what he was before the last two seasons when he was plagued by injury. They had him in the box. He was leading the team in tackles at times. That's not Minkah Fitzpatrick. You want Minkah to be the guy that's the robber role in the defense. It's going out there, reading the quarterback's eyes, taking plays away. And so by Deshaun Elliott being there and being the athlete that he is, Minkah is going to be able to be Minkah again. So Deshaun Elliott might not make those huge plays, but his presence is going to allow Minka to make those plays. So it's kind of a catch-22 there. So those are two defensive players. If I'm going to go on the offensive side of the ball, one of these days, and maybe it's Arthur Smith after you all talk about him and his love affair with tight ends, someone's going to use Darnell Washington as a passing threat. I'm just going to say it because right now all he is an extra tackle. Last year, all they used him for was he showed up, he blocked, he's really good at it. He's basically like another tackle. But at some point, they're going to let this guy run down the seam, and they're going to hit him for a big play. We're just waiting for it to happen. So Darnell Washington's probably that guy on offense that I would say watch out for. But if you're looking for a big play maker, Calvin Austin III is not a big guy, but boy, that guy can run. If he gets behind your defense and Russell Wilson can deliver the pass, that's a big play waiting to happen. So there's the two on offense for you.
So hopefully looking for Calvin Austin to kind of be like that Tyler Lockett.
Yeah, he's a lot smaller in stature, but yeah, I mean, he could be that guy. Just he slips by the defense, splits the safeties, and he's gone because he has like 4.3 speed. So he's ridiculously fast. Yeah, he was a track guy.
Okay. So for those in the back that didn't hear what Jeff said, is Falcons need to be on their toes right now when it comes to Calvin Austin, and I've seen the burners. Yeah, he ain't lying. So Clark Phillips. Mike Hughes, yeah, we can't have that. But Mike, you got one more question. You got one more question before we kind of move on to the next segment.
Nope. Man, Mike ain't got nothing to talk about.
That's a rarity. That's a rarity. All right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I done talked myself. I done talked 2 hours today, so I have nothing else to say. I'll say this. I do have some. I'm gonna give you a Falcons question, all right? Because one of these things, they'll never forgive me if I didn't mention this. So there was a certain quarterback from Jew's home state that played quarterback for you guys. So what was it like, the atmosphere for a certain number 7 that laced it up for the Atlanta Falcons and Michael Vick? What was the atmosphere? How did fans really receive Mike Vick when he put that Steelers jersey on?
That's a good question. I think there was a level of just being stunned. I wasn't stunned because, well, if you know where Michael Vick is from and you know where Mike Tomlin is from, there's an instant connection. Mm-hmm. Those Hampton Roads guys stick together. They definitely have that connection. Mike Tomlin talks about that a lot. He is very much a part of that area still, even though he lives in Pittsburgh. But the fan base, of course, you had the animal activists that were very much against it, and they hated the move. Steeler fans also were just curious, does this guy have anything left in the tank? And is he even a sliver of what we've seen from Michael Vick in his time, both in Atlanta as well as in Philadelphia? And so when he donned the black and the gold, that was odd. I'm going to be honest. Like, that was weird to see that, because I remember one of my most memorable games, because I always think about these, especially AFC, NFC matchups. I always think back to, okay, what are the games I remember the most about, like, Steelers Falcons? And the game that always comes back to me is in 2003. I'm sorry, I think it was 2002.
2002.
Michael Vick and the Atlanta Falcons in Heinz Field against Tommy Maddox and the Pittsburgh Steelers, which actually ended in a tie.
I remember that. Yeah, I remember that game too. Yeah.
And Michael Vick ran all over the Steelers at times, and there was a Hail Mary pass. Plexico Burress caught the ball at the end of the overtime time period, but the football was out of the end zone, and he was in the end zone, and it ended in a tie. Like, that was a really remarkable game. But I always remember Michael Vick because that guy was, I mean, he tormented defenses, but it was when he was with Pittsburgh, it was a tail end of his career. He was a shell of his former self, so didn't move the needle too much in that respect.
Okay. All right.
That game right there, boy, that was trenches personified right there.
Yeah. I got something to say before we should have started the show with this though, but Here, the staff here at AFN and the Heavy Hitters, we do send our prayers and condolences to the Appalachian High School for people that was killed earlier today. It was 2 students and 2 teachers. So we do send our condolences.
Okay. Yeah, I just literally just read about it like maybe like 5-10 minutes ago. Like I've been asleep all day, so I ain't know anything was going on. But yeah, definitely condolences. Hey man, y'all just gotta be careful out here because you don't know what other folks is thinking. So you just gotta protect your space, your energy at all times. Ain't that right, Minister?
Amen.
Yeah.
That's why we stay prayed up, man. Yeah, I seen it while I was at work, and I told my wife, you know, it always hits home with me because Don is a teacher, my wife is a teacher, and
I got
you know,
kids in school.
you never know what somebody's going through, and you know, to lose your life, nobody expected. Those kids going to school didn't expect to lose their life. Those teachers didn't expect to lose their life. So it's an unfortunate situation all the way around. So we definitely give our prayers and condolences. But that's why I stay prayed up. You know, I pray for everybody because for safety, you never know when you're gonna be called home, when God's gonna call you home. So definitely prayers up to those families, those friends, or those people that lost their lives, you know, on that school campus.
Yeah.
All right, definitely. But man, also too, Sunday, Mike, you want to go ahead and you need to go ahead and plug the tailgate for Sunday.
Cause I ain't going.
Huh? But we're gonna plug
Nah,
it
I'm just
anyway. Go ahead.
Nah, I just
Let's
want to be difficult today, y'all. I just want to be difficult. We have the K-Style, you put me on because I know. See,
hold on, I
I
got it
don't
right
got
here.
nothing to say. I normally have my bullet points, but I don't have my bullet points today, so everything is right off the top of the dome. So, we do K-Style. We have for every Atlanta Falcons fan that are going to the game Sunday. I was gonna say Saturday because I'm thinking about the Georgia Bulldog, but Sunday with the Atlanta Falcons. If you get there early, hit up Miss Maggie. She is the CEO of Atlanta Falcons Nation. We have a tailgating um, event there about 11 o'clock. So you want something to eat, you want to fellowship with the fellow Falcons fans and maybe some Pittsburgh Steelers fans. All right, they're not as idiotic than those ain'ts, but that's a whole nother situation. But yeah, check that out, man. We have that. We have a number of things too, but mainly that. So again, Falcons fans, if you had, hit me up at Matt Mike Sports on Twitter, Instagram, Michael Anthony Linson on Facebook for more information on that. And that is it, K-Style.
All right. So we're gonna get to the fun part of the show, y'all, man. Like I said, we appreciate Jeff.
I gotta interrupt you. I see. I gotta start this segment off. Because I got something. See, something been on my heart. Something been on my heart. Something been on my mind. Some people like a lot of cocaine. Okay? Some people like a lot of cocaine, and I was watching. It's this movie. I would say movie. It's a documentary, and John Roberts said he sold a lot of cocaine to those Pittsburgh Steelers. So do you know any information about cocaine in Pittsburgh?
What Steelers are you talking about?
But it's still going. Were they really on cocaine like that? That's just a rumor. Like, I had to know because that's one of my favorite documentaries. So is that more of a rumor, urban legend, or were those guys really just tough guys?
Oh, back in the 70s, like the Steel Curtain?
Yes.
Oh, they were wild, man. Like, you read books about that stuff like that. If there was social media back then, shoot, like that'd be insane. Yeah, I mean, there's always been books written about the steroid use, but again, it wasn't illegal at the time. they were doing steroids for both injury recovery. I know Terry Bradshaw had an ankle injury one year. I think it was 79. He was being pumped with anabolics to try and help his ankle get better. And I'm sure there was drug use a lot. I mean, look at Frenchie Fuqua, what he wore, man. Like, just go and look at something. The dude he was wild. They were all wild. Yeah, I believe it.
Well, I think 80% of the league was coked up at that time.
I believe that too. I believe that too. That's just been a question. I love the Pittsburgh Steelers, and that's just a question that's always been, and I need to ask the right person. So thank you, Jim.
All right, so this is the fun part of it where we start letting Jeff talk a little history of why he became a Pittsburgh Steelers fan and what player in particular that you watched growing up that said, "Oh yeah, I'm a Pittsburgh Steelers fan."
So my first favorite player of all time. Okay, we'll go back to 1993 and 1994. So 10-year-old Jeff was watching a guy wore number 29 named Barry Foster, and he was a workhorse of a running back. And talk about a short career. Like, you read Bill Cowher's book, he talks about when he was let go in free agency. He only played, I don't even think he played another season after he retired after he left Pittsburgh. He went with Carolina, retired from the game, tried to kick up again with Cincinnati, didn't get in. And Barry Foster was, just look at how many touches this guy had in 2 years, in 93 and 94. And everyone forgets because in 95, the Steelers make it to Super Bowl 30 and they lose to Dallas. And Bam Morris was the guy then. Talk about drug use. There you go, Bam Morris. But Bam Morris made people forget about Barry Foster. Man, when I was in middle school, I wore 29 because I loved Barry Foster. He was it. Everyone loved Rod Woodson. I mean, Rod Woodson was a superstar. But Barry Foster was my guy. Yeah. Barry Foster.
They called him. I remember they used to call him the other Barry because Barry Sanders.
Absolutely. So Barry Foster was my first favorite player. But then once they drafted Ben Roethlisberger in 2004, and he went on that 15 game winning streak to the AFC Championship game, man, like that was it. Like I have no more favorite players. It's just he was it. Like that was my guy. That was my guy for sure.
Okay.
I like that.
I like that because, like you said, you may have some of the younger football fans that may not know who Barry Foster is.
They probably don't.
And like you said, you just give them an opportunity to kind of look at, because like for those that may not know what he talking about, I think he talking about that 92 season where he had almost 400 attempts.
Yep.
Running the football. Yeah. Think about they didn't have the type of medicine and rehab like they do now.
Exactly.
He was a workhorse, man.
Yeah, he was.
Lord have mercy. So damn, he caught 36 passes neither. Yeah. I see why. I see exactly why.
Yeah.
But Mike, Pittsburgh Steelers, what's the one player that comes to mind to you that say, okay, I like this player that played on this team? Favorite Pittsburgh Steelers player, what you got?
I mean, me personally, I like Jerome Bettis, man. Like Jerome Bettis for me was just, he was the most unathletic running back I've ever seen in my life. Like he was just big and fat, but you just couldn't do anything with him. He wasn't in shape or any of that.
Hey man, go easy on Jerome, because Jerome was my inspiration in the football. You better stop playing with me.
Like you couldn't do it, but he could run. He could run. He wasn't. He didn't have great feet. But whatever he could do with those feet, he got the job done. But Jerome Bettis, man, I just love to see Jerome. He's just running through guys, man. Jerome Bettis for me was a guy. I'll save the other one and see if there's anybody else. But Jerome Bettis for me, man.
Okay. What you got, Drew?
Favorite Pittsburgh Steeler of all time? Man, Mike might have took it with Jerome Bettis, but I would say Plexico Burress when he was at the top of his game with Pittsburgh. And I didn't get to tell Jeff before the show. You were mentioning West Virginia. Yeah, I grew up in the Hampton Roads area, so Plexico Burress is also from the Hampton Roads area. He went to Green Run High School in Virginia Beach, so he's one of those guys that when you talk about a guy that can go up and get a jump ball, to me, he was one of those guys that came in and was similar to like a Randy Moss. He wasn't as fast as Randy Moss, but long, could go up and catch the jump ball. A guy that made plays with Pittsburgh and then went on to win the Super Bowl with the New York Giants, beating that undefeated Patriots team. So I'll say Plexico Burress. One thing I didn't know, one thing that I think was weird with Plexico is he always had that long pacifier mouthpiece. I don't know why. I was like, I understand Utah, but I never understood why he had that long mouthpiece that would hang out like a tongue, and he would put it in his mouth for the play. And you always could notice where he was at on the field because you always seen that super long mouthpiece. So I don't know what was the reason for that. I'm like, yeah, you tall, but you got a mouthpiece that's hanging down to your chest. But he was one of my favorite Pittsburgh Steelers.
All right, what you got, Don?
All right, I got two players. I'm gonna be serious with this first one. My favorite Steeler of all time gotta be number 43, Troy Polamalu.
I was waiting for
Look, I'm gonna be honest with you, because my football career it ended around 2002, 2003. And he was drafted in 03, and just seeing him on the field, because I played safety. Just seeing him on any time before the ball is snapped, he knew where the ball was going. That man was sideline to sideline, just making plays, making tackles, getting turnovers, getting sacks. Like, oh man, like it was just when I watch the Steelers, I watched because I wanted to watch to see what the hell Troy Polamalu was gonna do in that game. So I was a huge Troy Polamalu fan, but another honorary Steeler that I liked was Lamar Woodley. Good
linebacker. Michigan.
See, Jeff already fits in.
But the thing is,
no, he was good though. He was a
good player, man. He was
unbelievably underrated.
All pro in 09. When they come on now. Like he was like when Troy Polamalu was to that secondary, Lamar Woodley was for that linebacker core. So again, and then he did go in the Michigan Sports Hall of Fame last year too. So that was another thing.
I didn't know
but hey, it's other Steelers always did well with Michigan players, but I ain't finna sit here and name all of them. But Lamar Woodley.
Yes, you are. You know you want to. Stop.
Because we got to go to the other part of the segment, and I got to ask Jeff something. So, but go ahead. That's it.
All right. So since everybody kind of took Jerome Bettis, I'm gonna have to go in a different route on this one. Me, I got two of them. The first one is always gonna be Hines Ward. I call him the smiling assassin for a reason. You see this? Ask Keith Rivers what the hell happened when he ran up. But Hines Ward was one of the most underrated receivers around that time, especially around that 2000s, around them early 2000s. Bro, it was like you don't never pay attention to it. But that at the end of the game, it'd be like a $120, a touchdown or something. You'd be like, wait a minute, how the hell did he get that?
Should be in the Hall of Fame. I'll say it right now. He should be in the Hall of Fame.
Right.
Yeah, it's a disgrace. That's a disgrace.
And my other one, I might say James Harrison.
There you go.
See, you see the theme I did that it was two maniacs I picked. One just smiles, the other one just looked crazy. But just seeing James Harrison put fear of God into people, and a lot of people got to think about it. He was an undrafted player out of Kent State who got cut. And then they say he got cut twice by Pittsburgh before he came on. Yeah. Yes. So he took his opportunity and just ran with it. It was like, I am not. I forgot who was the tackle. I say he was like, bro, he beat me with the same move 4 times. James Harrison was just a warrior, bro, and I always kind of admired that. Since y'all already took Jerome Bettis and Troy Polamalu, I said I might well go that route.
Well, you guys got my brain going here. You say Troy Polamalu, who can forget his interception of Matt Ryan in Heinz Field, 2010? I think that might have been a week 1 game.
I remember
In
that.
overtime.
I remember. Yeah.
Beautiful interception on the sideline on the out route. I think Rashard Mendenhall
No,
scored on a long
I
touchdown.
don't remember that one yet. I don't remember that.
But here's the game the Falcons won. Do y'all remember Heinz Ward scoring without a shoe down in Georgia? But the Falcons ended up coming back and winning that game.
I was so mad at D'Angelo Hall that game. I ain't gonna tell you no lie. I said, how do you get burnt by a man with one shoe on? He got half traction.
Heinz Ward only has one ACL, by the way. So he played in his whole career with only one ACL.
Yeah, man. Like you said, he was a warrior though. He was a warrior. I give him credit on that.
Yeah.
But
one more guy, and I'm kind of surprised that nobody really said this, but he didn't have a really long. But like Kevin Green was another one for me, man.
Yeah.
Kevin Green was just I just like I love that dude. So Kevin Green is the one that I have it to right now.
okay. All right. I'm about to say, anybody else got any honorable mentions before we let Don take over and let him do his thing?
I think we said them all, to be honest, but they had a lot of
Yeah, people in the chat saying Joey Porter, I seen Rodney Harrison, I believe. Oh, not Rodney, James Harrison. I seen Lynn Swan. They named a lot of them.
I got an honorable mention. Casey Hampton.
Casey Hampton was a good one, yeah.
That's my honorable mention right there.
Mm-hmm.
So Don, I'm gonna let you
Antoine
go.
Randall is another one. So yeah.
Oh yeah. Had a touchdown pass in the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Santonio Holmes. I know Don gonna hate Santonio Holmes. We know why.
Wow.
Two toes Holmes. All right, go ahead, Don. Two toed Holmes. Go ahead, Don.
So you say you've been in. So we know Jeff. He was raised in the metropolitan area of Pittsburgh because Wheeling is part of the metropolitan area of Pittsburgh. It's like South Pittsburgh, pretty much.
Yeah.
So you've been to Pittsburgh a lot. Have you ever been to the place called Permanente Brothers?
Oh yes. Yeah,
Okay.
You got to go to the original one on the Strip District though, because like they have it's a chain now. So like they have one in Maryland where I live now. But yeah, the original one, yeah, you got to go there.
So, can you explain to the chat, to the people that's watching, what is the Permanente Brothers are famous for?
Well, it's their sandwich. It's loaded up. It's basically a meal with between 2 pieces of bread. So you choose your whatever meat you want. So it could be deli meat. It could even be a burger. You have fries, coleslaw, tomato, a whole bunch of stuff, and then they just smack it together. The story behind the sandwich is that the Strip District in the city of Pittsburgh used to be an extremely bustling place with people that were driving, whether it was coming off the river, because obviously that's where the 3 rivers converge there in the city of Pittsburgh. Mm-hmm. But they had a lot of traffic. There were a lot of trucks, and people wanted meals to go quick. And so they said, here, we're just going to put it all on 2 pieces of bread and you can be gone. And so that's where Permanente Brothers kind of got their start. The original Permanente Brothers in the Strip District is, if you ever go to Pittsburgh, it's a must visit. It's a really cool place.
See, I never been to Pittsburgh, but I knew somebody who was in Pittsburgh, and I told him, I'm like, hey, can you give me a sandwich for the Permanente Brothers? Because they were flying back in the city to Atlanta that day. So, they, found a way.
That's amazing that you still forget. Never mind.
They found a way, it's kind of hard to like pack stuff, but you can.
How many years ago that was done? How many years ago that was?
That was back in 2012, I think. 2011. No, 2011.
You still remember asking somebody for a sandwich for 2012? Y'all.
But I remember because they put fries and stuff on the sandwich, so they wrap everything like you said is meat, coleslaw, fries, and they just wrap it up in the butcher wrap. and you eat it. It's really good though.
Yeah,
So,
it's phenomenal.
So what else is Pittsburgh known for as far as food wise go?
Well, I mean, if you go into the heritage of Pittsburgh, you're talking about pierogies. I'm not sure if y'all are familiar with pierogies too much. It's
I am.
dough. It could be stuffed with cheese. Sometimes they put meat in it. I mean, hell, at Pittsburgh Pirate games at PNC Park, they have a pierogi race. The pierogies, and there's a lot of Eastern European heritage in the Pittsburgh area. I know my family came from Romania actually and settled in Pittsburgh, and then my family moved down to Wheeling for work. But still, like, there's a lot of those type of places in Pittsburgh too. There's a lot of really small places, but there's little things like that are spread throughout the city that you just got to go and find yourself, and it's tough to name all of them actually.
Okay. Well, I know it's a home game, so the Falcons, we're not going to Pittsburgh. But if we ever in the next 4 years go to Pittsburgh, make sure y'all stop at the Primanti Brothers and get y'all that famous sandwich. They even got a sandwich named after Ben Roethlisberger up there too, I believe, in the Primanti Brothers.
There was another place that tried to steal the Roethlisberger. It was like a breakfast thing. It was a lot, but yeah, it was good though.
Hey man, we try to get that diner drive-ins and dive version of the heavy hitter style up there. So like you said, you never know. We might be up in Pittsburgh up there here, like he said, the next couple of years doing that.
He said, "Do y'all do anything crazy with dessert up there? Hopefully they don't put ketchup on the ice cream, because
no." A really cool restaurant that I wish was still open, but it never opened up after everything got shut down in 2020 was Grill 36, which was right outside of Heinz Field, now Acrisure Stadium. And it was Jerome Bettis' place. It was really cool. Their dessert, he did a carrot cake that was ginormous. It was huge. And his signature meal was a 36-ounce steak because he won over 36. And so, but that was a really great restaurant, really great food. And it was a shame when it closed down. So I wish that place was still open.
I wish it was still open too, so I can have the opportunity to go.
Yeah.
You said 36 ounce. Good. Google it, move. I ain't got nothing to say on that, man.
I
ain't even gonna flex. The biggest steak I can eat is probably like 24 ounces.
I mean, if you see, they call them the bus for a reason, so you might as well have a bus steak. So yeah. So Quest has asked is, have you ever met Urinating Tree? I guess he talked about the other
content creator still.
No, he fun. I like Urinating Tree.
I don't even know who that is.
You don't? Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, he
I was thinking something else. I thought he was talking about urinating on the tree. I was like, oh, what?
No. LT be talking about Urinating Tree a lot because he watched the Day of Our Steelers. That Urinating Tree had a series out called The Days of Our Steelers. It was back in like, I think 2015, 16, 17, something like that. So, yeah.
Oh, Southside said here, Don versus Joey Chestnut and the hot dog eating.
No.
2025.
No, I don't want to see that. I'm good on that one.
I'm good on that too. I don't want no smoke with Chestnut. That man the GOAT. I know I ain't nope.
Think about it, you the GOAT and eating glizzies. You know what? We about to end this show right now.
Yeah, they about to go left real quick.
Yeah, but but for real though, we're gonna go ahead and wind the show down up for the night, man. We definitely appreciate Jeff for coming on.
Thank you, Jeff. We truly appreciate it.
Man, I'm about to tell you, man, it was a whole lot of fun, man. So I want you to go ahead and plug yourself one more time for the people.
Sure.
Let them know where they can find you at.
I mean, if you want to find me specifically on Twitter or X, it's at jhartman, HARTMAN_PIT. You'll see a lot of Steelers coverage there. I also cover golf and do stuff like that. But still, you can check me out there. You can also check out all my Steelers podcasts and content at the Steel Curtain Network. Anywhere you get your podcasts, if you just search Steelers or Steel Curtain Network, you'll find us. You can check us out on YouTube. We're getting close to 12,000 subscribers. So if anyone wants to subscribe and help us out, get to that milestone, that would be fantastic. And then obviously steelcurtainnetwork.com.
Oh, we definitely got you on that one. So, like I said, we definitely gonna.
Yeah, I'm already subscribed.
Yeah,
I appreciate it. Thank you all very much.
So, hey, so the people that's watching right now, I want y'all to go ahead and the next couple minutes go and subscribe to my man Jeff, and help the man out, man. Everybody got a goal they trying to reach, man. So, hey, like I said, man, this was a whole lot of fun. This was about 6 months into waiting. We finally got regular season football coming up.
I still haven't forgotten. I still haven't forgiven Pittsburgh Steelers what they did to Matt Ryan. I thought y'all was gonna kill Matt Ryan with that damn offensive line we had. That man got hit by 30 times that game. I swore he was dead. Like good God, man. I still haven't forgiven about it. They almost killed man, and somehow he just got killed. But that game right there was the game where Arthur Blank was like, "Nope, we got to get some help for him." So I guess in a weird way, thank the Pittsburgh Steelers for killing Matt Ryan.
Nah, boy, that man was looking at the stars, wishing upon the stars.
Man, look, I don't know how he survived that. I do not know how he survived that game. That was an ugly game. I think what that 15 was it? I forget what game, but yeah, they almost killed. Oh my God, they almost killed Matt Ryan.
Right. So, man, like I said, man, we appreciate everybody. Make sure you go ahead and keep subscribing to everybody. Help everybody reach their goals. We got Jew Talk Sports. His goal is at the 3K. He's getting close there now. Y'all better just show him some love. We got Mad Mike Sports, who's almost about to hit 10K. He's not that far.
You have a giveaway, people.
Got giveaways coming up and everything. And like I said, Jeff, anytime you want to come over here, you are more than welcome. Like I said, this was a good conversation. Hey, man, we got open arms for you.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me, guys. It was a lot of fun.
Hey, we appreciate you, man. And we appreciate Don with making everybody hungry and shit at 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah, now I'm thinking about damn carrot cake. I want some carrot cake now. Good God Almighty.
So that's the one thing you know about this show. You're going to leave with some information and feeling hungry. So until next time, people, hey, man, we ain't here to play.
Oh, no.
We here to stay.
Oh, yeah, dig it.
You ain't gotta go home.
But you got to get the hell up out of here.
And go to bed, y'all.
I want some
Are you
damn
ready
carrot
for
cake.
some football? I was gonna say a Monday night party, but it's on Sunday, so I ain't gonna disrespect the song like that.
Yeah.